All right. So, it's very rare that you'll need to buy cards. I wouldn't recommend doing top cards personally. I've never actually done top strats in a run. You could have dropped all your cards and spoken to Tot and he'll give you 5 new ones. I don't like that strategy personally. If you do manage to run low on cards when you're in your tournament, this guy will sell you some cards. I would just buy the goblin ones. They all have no stats on them, so they're all just as useless as each other. But you shouldn't have to do that. Okay, I'm going to make a little save state. Should have made it before I went in, really. So, we've actually got a nice selection of cards here. It's worth noting that you'll pretty much always have at least one of these 3 here. The goblins, the fangs, and the skeletons, they're kind of your backup cards. I know that Bomb kind of swears by taking 1 goblin and like kind of playing around that. Usually there's one that's got like 2 corner arrows and then 1 right arrow or something. Up and up, left and a right. That's not in our inventory today, which is the first time I'm seeing this. I think that card's usually a stock one. What have we got? So usually you want to take cards from the second column. Usually the second and third column are kind of your more powerful cards. These ones are all going to be fairly weak. When you're learning to play and you're going for it, you want to try and pick them with like slightly varied arrows. You don't necessarily want to take things with lots of different arrows. Lots of arrows doesn't always mean a good card, because battles in this game type are usually quite bad. Battles themselves are slow and they induce RNG. So this is actually a pretty nice selection of cards. The one thing that I'm noticing straight away is that we do not have any down left arrows. So I do not want to play ideally towards the bottom left of the board. That's the only thing that I'm really seeing from this so far very quickly. Everything else seems to be a fairly even spread. So I'm going to want to try and focus on this side of the board. So I'm probably going to play one of my rubbish cards here. I'm probably just going to put my Zoo down like this. Leave it there to play. We won the battle. Nice. So this doesn't normally happen where you play a card and they lose the battle against themselves. That was actually ridiculously good odds for him. If you don't know how to play Tetramaster, the 4 characters underneath your card go as such. The first number is your power, your attacking power. The second letter determines what your power is in. So P for physical, M for magical. Sometimes, very rarely, after you've been playing with a card and it's beaten some battles, it will level up and attain the X rating. X just means that it will attack whatever their lowest stat is. So if this was a 1X, it would attack his magical stat. That's one on the right. Which means that these next 2, the first number is your physical, and then the next one is your magical. So zoos have no physical defense, but they have magical defense. He's attacked us with 2 physical, and then lost to our no physical defense. This can happen because it's Tetramaster. Smile. That's incredible. This can happen. It was a very unlikely fight for him. He should have won that, but we got away with it. So the next thing that we want to do here is we want to try and play away from the pack. But we were instantly presented with a problem. This board is giving us an issue because we don't want to play here because that's going to give them this tile to quite simply take the zoo and potentially take whatever we play here and permanently give them this card. Likewise, it's the same on this side of the board. Playing here is less than ideal because it could, depending on what we play, it could give them free access into them through battles. So I'm probably just going to take my Dragonfly and just play down here. We're incredible. So this Dragonfly had 2 physical defense. He actually decided to fight it. With 1 physical defense. This was actually in our favor. Lost. What I can do here is I can put my weird on this corner here. Is this good? This isn't that good, actually. Okay, the reason why that's not that good is because if he then fights our zoo and takes it, we'll have no way of getting our Dragonfly back. Oh shit, I didn't mean to place that. And we won again. Incredible. This guy is literally throwing. We're having some ridiculous luck right now. This doesn't normally happen. This is exactly what cards looks like sometimes. So at this point in the game, Simply put, we're going to put something in this bottom left corner so that he can't put anything in this bottom left corner and take cards for free. Cool. And then we can claim this corner here, take this golem back, and pretty much guarantee the win. But 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter what you take. If you see a strong card that you want to take, by all means take it. Try and like plan that in advance, but I would personally just mash through these quite quickly. Okay. So I'm pretty much just going to do the same thing. I'm going to just grab these cards like that. Okay, so this is the ideal scenario, is that he's on the play. Being on the draw on the second play means that you have more of an opportunity to respond to what they're doing. So he's left one. He's got two positions open on this character. We don't really want to fight it. Battles are slow. You want to avoid battling where possible. He's left the up left open and the up open. We could take it easily with the antlion, with its down arrow, with the zoo, and leave a bunch of arrows open. Or we could use our weird and leave only one open, like placing it like here, for example. Well, it leaves our bottom right open too. Alternatively, what we can do is put down a card with some good physical stats and just let him try and get into it or something like that. So he's played a weird over there like that. So we could probably make use of our zoo now and just try and go in on this. Play from the corner. We should win this because it's physical battle. It looks like everything's going to be playing around this zoo now. Alright, by him playing this dragonfly to the right of the zoo is going to make us... It's actually made us quite hard to get into this. We don't... So you definitely don't want to take this battle with the... with the nymph. Sorry, the nymph is a 50-50 chance into playing into that weird, and you don't take those fights. That's a bad fight. What you could do instead is you can leave the zoo alone for now and use it as a double combo later with the antlion. Antlion will quite easily, convincingly, should beat the zoo unless we get the same luck they had earlier where our 2 physical loses to a 0, but that should not happen. So what I'm going to do instead... So the issue with playing here actually is that we want to keep this slot open for our plays later. So maybe potentially we could just play down here, and actually if we play down here we take 2, and we should be able to get back into it in a couple different ways. Yeah, this is okay. I mean, it's not really okay. This is an interesting board. So because the weird... So actually, this is the good bit now, because the weird's completely covered up. He can't use it to battle against us and take loads of cards off us for free. So we can fight into this.
Help me.
Yeah, help me. We can use this to fight into the zoo. Take the zoo permanently. If the zoo wins, it takes the weird personally, and it will actually take a lot of fights for us quickly.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. There we go. We got a couple wins there. So... Again, this magic should win into it. If we play here, we take 1. He goes down to 5. We go to 5 and we force the draw. Down here with an unfavorable battle. So this one is our most likely chance of winning, and we take a weird with it if we win. Nice. Pretty messy, but we got there. Whether or not so I want to give a disclaimer right now and say whether these plays are correct or not. I can't tell you. They could be correct, they could be bad, but Tetramaster, like as you saw in the first game, was just sometimes it all goes in your way, sometimes it all goes against you. It's Tetramaster. You just got to do everything you can to make it favorable for yourself. Okay, so in the final battle, Sid only uses Oglops. He always only uses Oglops. And Oglops never have any physical defense. Magical defense, sorry. They only ever have physical defense. So taking some magical attackers with you is not a bad idea. So these two... Actually, I think I'm going to stick with the nymph because I don't like how many arrows this has. I don't really want to be playing a game full of battles like that. I don't think the antlion is exactly what we're after here. These are physical as well, aren't they? Yeah. That's got 2 though. With no physical defense. So having no physical defense is bad because I know that the Oglops are magic physical attackers too. I think I'd probably just take these. The crawler has strong physical defense too. Okay, luckily he's on. Oh my god. So he's gone first and he's given us an Oglop. So the issue with playing here and taking this straight away is this is our only left arrow, and we'd be playing along the left-hand side of the board. So we're putting ourselves at a disadvantage by playing here. So I would recommend against playing against that, and I would probably go ahead and just get this crawler down and see if he wants to fight it and just ideally lose to it, which he doesn't want to do, which is exactly what I thought he'd. He's insistent on playing on the left side. So I am going to continue by playing my antlion on the right. Okay, so I can... Now that he's done that, I can permanently claim the top left here. Because he'll have no way to battle into it, I can have that for free. And there'll be no way that he can take that Oglop back off me. So one of the options we have here is we could put our Yeti here and hope that he doesn't have an up left arrow. If he does, then he'll claim all of that board very easily. We could simply play our weird here is probably the best shout, because then he needs arrows to get back into it. If we play our weird here and battle in and take potentially 2 cards, if we win twice in a row, he could play a left arrow and fight back into it and take 3 cards for free. So I'm going to play here and just take the 1-for-1. And he took the 1-for-1 back, and because we're on the second play, we get to finally make this play and get an easy win. Card games. Alright, let's do it again, because once is never enough for this game. So when I play this game, I usually just take the cards like that. These aren't bad cards at all. I wonder if our seed's going to be the same. So I'm going to go ahead and place my zoo somewhere else, and he is making separate plays. So playing that zoo there means that if I go ahead and play my only left arrow, unfortunately, down here, I can guarantee, as long as I win, my antlion will stay blue for the rest of this fight. He's got no way battling into that antlion again now. So I'm going to go ahead and play away from the pack here, because I don't want to give... This doesn't seem like a bad play, taking it for free. Or maybe this and like kind of guaranteeing the win. But if he's got a left arrow with a physical attacker, he could easily claim that mimic permanently. And we don't really want to give him the option to do that. So we're ahead. We don't have to take any battles that we don't need to. We can force him to make some plays. And look at that. He's gone ahead and just given us a free Mandragora. It was very kind of him, wasn't it? I mean, if we go like this, we should win. If we don't win, then we lose the entire game. This one forces him to have a right arrow. But if we play like this, then he can't battle us again. Nice. He didn't have the right arrow. Hit the Mandragora. I took the Mandragora there just because that zoo had 1 arrow on it, and I don't really want to put that in my pool of cards. Because I quite like the cards that I've got. I don't think I want to use that Mandragora because I'm not a fan of cards that only have corner arrows. Those cards typically are a little bit harder to manage, in my opinion. Okay. So, like I said before, we have 1 down left arrow. We don't have any down right arrows, so we want to try and avoid the right hand side of the board. We've got 2 left arrows, and we've got a bunch of up arrows. So we don't want to play any cards in this top left corner just yet. We don't want to give him a way into it. So a down left arrow might be the best way to play here. Or we could just go ahead and use our zoo here. Could give him a way in. So that's not too bad. Because then we can just claim this beetle permanently, at least. Yeah. So the only way that we can claim that dragonfly is through... So this seems like the most obvious play, and to be honest, I probably would have made it if I was in a speedrun, because I wouldn't be thinking hard enough. And I'd be banking that he didn't play something on top of it and take it away from me, because you don't want to be using this Yeti to battle into it. That doesn't seem like a good play. Alternatively, we could just not play for it. Alternatively, we could just make this play instead. Yeah. He has one card left and he's going to be... So the issue with playing here is that it's going to give him this slot as a good way to get back into the match. If he's got any down right arrows. Man, this is where the board states start to get really complicated. This is where Tetromaster starts to get you. Because you can take your time with these plays, like we are right now. But ultimately, you don't have this sort of luxury when you're playing the game. You want to try and make your plays faster than this. Alternatively, what I could actually do... No, this is bad because it means my antline can't do anything afterwards. And we're actually on the back side of it all. I think the only thing that I can really do is play like this. Yeah, it looks like we're just going to have to settle with a draw. Okay, so this upright corner here is where we want to just be playing our first card. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop my zoo down in the middle. Oh, we won. I now want to play away from it. I don't want to give them different ways back into it. So I'm going to drop my zoo down there. And my Yeti, sorry. So this is okay. This means that I should be able to claim everything quite comfortably with my antlion. Yep. I don't really want to play this zoo here. I kind of want to play away from the pack. Annoyingly. What I think I'm going to do is play my zoo in this corner over here. Yeah. Ah, now I can't play that. I'll be fighting into an unfavorable Mandragora. Yeah, that sucked. Maybe there was another way out of that if I had played it one tile closer. Okay, let's start by not playing the zoo straight away. We should be able to use our zoo to claim this board and stop any battles back. Nice. Okay, that's kind of frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. I kind of want to avoid that weird for a little bit, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and take that weird up there, and we should be able to get a nice easy double kill with the antlion, and then finally get a double here. Nice. Just take whatever. These aren't very good cards. Yeah, when the boards are a bit more claustrophobic, it can be a lot harder to stay on top of it. There's probably some sort of game theory about when you should play towards corners and things like that. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's very tricky. And not knowing what your opponent has is obviously... I mean, it's a card game, so you shouldn't know what's in your opponent's hand, but it makes the decision-making very difficult to make in a speedrun. We do have a pretty decent little deck here, though, to be fair. These aren't bad cards at all. Okay, once again, we're fighting Sid, so I'm going to go ahead and use... I just want to get rid of these zoos that are in my hand. They're not going to do me very much good at this moment. I should be able to use this zoo. Get a nice double kill. Okay. A little bit too hasty here. I'm kind of a bit on the back foot, but we should be able to... okay. That's not actually too bad. Yeah, because we can take a lot of cards this way now. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, well. Probably should have thought that through a bit further. But yeah, honestly, the third match, this match in Petro route is... Just get it done. Obviously, getting the rebirth ring is nice, but you don't need it. Actually, you know what? We could actually. I mean, I've already got some save states anyway, but we do actually need a rebirthless set to go through. Talk about what's different, but I do have a set of save states anyway. Maybe we could just use those. I'll make a save state here anyway. I would like to cover rebirthless as well. Okay. Cool. Trading cards. Honestly, man, you could keep playing trading cards for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and you'll still keep learning how to play it. It's ridiculous.